So today during one of my sessions with a client that I see weekly, yes, I see people weekly for very deep intuitive healing or direction and intuitive guidance on just really basically anything. But I do hypnotherapy, I do energy healing, I do mindset work, all that stuff. And so this particular client I usually see once a week. I hadn't seen her in 2 weeks because she'd been having all kinds of stuff happening. So I finally get to see her today. And she gets on and she says to me, "Can you even help me? Can you even help me heal? Can you heal me?" And as she's saying this to me, I'm like just letting her say all this. And I reflect back to her and I say, "Do you believe that I can help you?" Because it's not about me believing if I can help you. I wouldn't be showing up and doing this if I didn't believe I could help you. You have to believe that I can help you in order for this to work. This is a mutual connection. I'm not showing up to heal you. I'm showing up in my energy to reflect back to you your ability to heal yourself. So when you meet with a healer, the number one thing to notice is, are they claiming that they are going to heal you, or are they claiming that you are going to heal yourself and they're just helping to support you in doing that? So be careful for people that claim that they have all this ability and then they fall short of it. Now, there are people that can heal without you having to agree with that. But it takes a lot of energy and a lot of belief for that to take place. And most people don't heal until they believe that they can heal. So when you work with a healer, remind yourself you are just as responsible to show up to do the healing as the healer is to help direct you in that healing. And for myself, I always give assignments. This is what I would encourage you to work on this week. And just continue to work on those things even when I don't give you assignments. But the next thing that she says to me after we establish that, yes, she thinks that I can help her, is that she has a lot of things in her life that she's not happy with. So we started talking about the victim mentality. And she was describing to me all the self-help books, all the things that she's learned and she's read and she's engaged in. And she knows within the spiritual community that you cannot be a victim to heal. And she's so sick of hearing that she's not a victim. And so I reflected back to her, you are a victim. You've been a victim of many things. I am a victim. I have been a victim of many things. But the difference between being a victim of something and having victim mentality is that you allow the events that you were a victim to rule over your energy and to cause you to shrink yourself into the exact same energy of when that trauma happened. If I was still living as a victim the way I did for many, many years from my childhood SA, I would not be doing what I'm doing now because I would be too busy thinking about being a victim, wanting the world to validate to me that I'm a victim, and thinking like a victim. Therefore, I would act and behave like a victim. I wouldn't show up and do things that a victim wouldn't do. So what I taught her was that it is not about you not being a victim. You are a victim. In fact, she's still a victim of something in her life. But what I was able to get her to see is that there is a choice at some point in your life. Now, children, they don't always have a choice. But as adults, most of the time, I would say 80 to 85% of the time, there's a choice to remain a victim of something. Now, the other 15, 20% are circumstances where a soul came into earth to have an experience, to be a part of something, and usually that is to be in it until they exit back into their original form, which is non-physical. But if you are awakening and you are wanting to heal yourself, you have the option to remain in choices that cause you to be a victim or not. And it gets really difficult and hard because choices have to be made. Now, if you start making choices to get yourself out of being a victim of something, it is encouraged. You need support. You cannot do this on your own, and you need somebody to help guide you through it. Because sometimes when you are in a situation, you can't think clearly about what the next step is. But if you can start taking steps towards freeing yourself from a situation that keeps you in that mode, you slowly step out of this victim role where you no longer are being controlled or being a victim of something. And then you find your freedom, and that's where when alignment comes. When alignment comes, that's when spirit can start navigating your life and giving you the things that you need to move forward. When you are in a stuck vibration, it is very hard for spirits to get information to you. So they will find different ways to get the information to you. And usually, and like another client that I had earlier today, we were talking about how she woke up, like after she went to bed, she woke up with this thought in her head about she needed to do something. And she's like, why didn't I think about doing that when I was doing the action? And I'm like, well, you probably did. You probably got a notice from your spirit team to do it then, but you weren't tuned in to receive the information. So they brought it to you when they could get it to you because you were too busy focused on something else going on instead of tuning into what your spirit was saying in the moment. Anyways, hopefully this is helpful, and I'm sure it could be triggering to hear this too. But I just want to validate that there are victims. Victim mentality and being a victim are completely different things. So I don't want you to get them confused. There are people that are actual victims of things that happen on the earth. But there's also a victim mentality. And that is what we cannot stay stuck in.